Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman, against whom the glowing kryptonite has at the moment won victory for his bitterest enemy, the Scarlet Widow. What will she do next? We'll know in a moment. As we know, the Scarlet Widow is in possession of a piece of the shattered planet Krypton, which robs Superman of all his strength when he comes within 10 feet of it. Assembling Superman's 4 deadliest enemies, the Vulture, Papa Rausch, Der Teufel, and the Laugher, the Widow set a trap for Superman by hiding tiny particles of the kryptonite about her apartment. The Man of Steel saw the trap, but pitted himself against it in a desperate attempt to capture the kryptonite and the 4 master criminals. Failing, Superman lost consciousness, and the Widow was about to sell each of the conspirators a quarter of the kryptonite when Der Teufel drew a gun and escaped with his share. Enraged, the Widow sent the others in pursuit of Teufel. And as we continue now, her gaunt, ugly face contorted in fury, the Scarlet Widow glares down at the unconscious figure of Superman. Listen.
Blimey, Widow. But I get the creeps seeing Superman lying there. We better up it before he wakes up.
The particles of kryptonite in the flower pots will keep him unconscious, Sniggers. Oh, what a fool I was letting Teufel cheat me out of $1 million.
Yeah, the dirty blighter. We got 3 yanks of the blooming kryptonite left, though. And the Vulture and Pepper Rausch and the Laugher will give us $1 million apiece for them.
That's only $3 million. My price was 4.
Now, listen to me, Widow. Take what we can, I said, and let's get away from here fast before this Superman bloke wakes up.
He won't wake up. He'll never wake up.
What do you mean by that, now? The blooming kryptonite knocks him out, it does, but he ain't dead. You can see him breathing. He might wake up any minute. And... Wait, you hear that?
Oh.
It's Superman, he's coming too. Hey, I warned you, Widow. I told you.
Shut up, you fool. Get the 3 big pieces of kryptonite out of the lead box. Hurry.
No, we better skip out.
You do as I say. Superman knows us. If he lives, we'll never be safe wherever we go. We've got to finish him now.
How are we going to do that? I don't like it. We ought to up it.
Kryptonite, Sniggers, hurry.
No, I am, Widow.
I remember. You, Widow.
Oh,
fool, what did you do?
My foot. I caught it in the box. In that cord, I did.
Sniggers. Teufel and the
Get out of the way, you cunt.
Where are they?
I'll get the kryptonite.
Superman, he's got up.
There we are.
Widow.
You're too late, Widow.
Oh, yes?
Yes.
Now, the box is open.
Look.
Good, Widow. Good.
No, you don't. No. Stop it.
Look at Widow. Running like a drunk again.
Stop it. No,
Look.
Oh.
Like a blooming light he is. No, my heart near stopped beating when I seen him come for us. Come on, Widow. We'd better get out
Not
of here.
yet. Put the 3 pieces of kryptonite down here.
What for? I tell
You
you.
shut your stupid mouth and do as I say. You almost spoiled things for us once. Mustn't happen again. Get the kryptonite.
Well, I can't understand you, Widow. This is our chance to get away.
I told you before, he'll pursue us wherever we go. We've got to destroy him now, forever.
How do you expect to do that?
We'll put 1 piece of kryptonite close to his head, the other 2 next to his body, near his heart.
Oh.
That ought to finish him.
Say now, he's ought to at that. Well, wait now, Widow. If Superman is dead, the Vulture and Pepper Rausch and the Laugher won't buy the kryptonite from
They're
him.
not going to know he's dead, you fool. Put the pieces on the floor.
They won't, no, you say? How won't they?
Leave that to me, now.
The blooming
Put
stuff.
your gloves on.
Burns.
Hurry.
Righto.
Then place the pieces the way I show you.
All right.
Put 1 piece here, next to his head. That's it. Now 1 piece next to his heart. Here. That's fine.
Yeah.
The 3rd piece on the other side of his head.
Right.
There.
Yeah.
That should take care of Mr. Superman.
Yeah, I'm a clever one, Widow. How long do you suppose it'll take?
Not too long. If only I had Teufel here to deal with at the same time.
Hey, the telephone. Who's that
Maybe
now?
they've caught Teufel. I'll answer it. Hello? Yes, Vulture. Did you?
The Vulture, did you get him?
Quiet, Sniggers. Go on, Vulture. You said... Yes?
What?
Yes? He did, eh? Sure, he might have. Right. Right, at once. Yes, at Bertie's. Goodbye. Now, let's see.
What's up
The
with that?
Vulture says they traced Teufel to a drugstore, but he got away. The druggist treated Teufel's hand for a burn.
He must have burned himself with the kryptonite.
She burned his hand off. The druggist said he made a phone call, too. The Vulture thinks Teufel might have called the police and tipped them off as to where Superman is.
Oh.
So that we'd be arrested and Teufel could get away. Give me a hand with his cedar chest, Sniggers.
What for? We've got to get out of here before the Bobby shows
And
up.
leave Superman while he's still alive? But help me pull this chest over to him.
Are you daffy, Widow? We can't bother with Superman now.
We must. We can't leave him here alive. Don't just stand there, you fool. Help me.
Right, Al. But if the Bobby catches us, we get the chair.
They won't catch us. I hope. There. But there, that's far enough. Now, open the chest.
All right.
Move, Snickers.
All
right. Help me get Superman in there. I'll take him under the shoulders. You take his leg.
I don't like it, I tell you. The Bobbies...
Will you forget the Bobbies? Come on. Lift.
Oh, he's heavy. He is. How are we going to get him out of here? The police will be along any minute.
We'll be warned in plenty of time if they come.
Oh.
Turk and Renee are on the lookout downstairs. There, that does it. Just double up his legs so his head will be lower.
All right.
There. The lid of the chest should close now. No. Wait a minute.
What?
Get the chisel and shave a corner off one of the pieces of kryptonite.
Well, what for?
Will you stop asking questions and do as you're told?
All right.
So Superman won't be lonesome, of course.
I never seen such a woman as you with her. We're in danger, we are, and you're making jokes.
This is far from a joke, Snickers. We're going to take Superman for a ride.
A ride?
Yes. A one-way ride.
Oh.
And to make sure that even he can't come back from it, we're going to send a piece of kryptonite along with him. Now, hurry, Snickers. Chop a piece off.
Right, Al.
I'll get Turk up here with the elevator.
Hurrying into the foyer, the Scarlet Widow presses the button to summon her private elevator. We'll return in a moment for the startling climax of today's episode. Loading the cedar chest containing the unconscious Superman into a station wagon, the Scarlet Widow, Sniggers, and two brawny henchmen, Turk and Renee, drove through the dark streets of Metropolis to a small cove on the seacoast where a motorboat was moored. Now, as a damp, swirling fog shrouds the moon and stars, Turk steers the motorcraft out to sea. In the middle of the boat sits the widow, her small, bright eyes shining. The shivering little Sniggers sits beside her, and behind them, rocking with the motion of the boat, is the cedar chest.
How far out are we, Turk?
About 2 miles.
That ought to be far enough. Stop the boat.
Okay.
I hope there's no other police out here.
If there are, they can't see us in this fog. Give Turk a hand with the chest, Sniggers.
Oh,
Ready, Turk?
Sure. This job won't be hard. Who's the guy we're feeding to the fishes?
None of your business. Help him, Sniggers.
Right, Al. We ought to put more rocks in the chest with her. Oh, that there cedar wood is like cork, it is.
I want to get this job over with. The chest will stay down long enough for our purposes.
I sure hope so. I wouldn't like this bloke coming back from no watery grave after me.
Don't worry, he won't. Put your ear to the chest. Can you hear the kryptonite?
Oh, is it? Hums like a blooming hive of bees, it does.
Good. That and the sea will take care of our friend for keeps. All right, boys. Heave him over.
Grab hold there, Sniggers.
Right, Al.
Easy, does it? Just get her up a bit higher. Watch it, you sap. You almost tipped it
You
over.
clumsy fool, Sniggers.
Look, I'm a little jittery, I am, remembering who's in this box.
Never mind that. Get rid of him.
There now. That's better. Hold it. Okay, let her go.
Ah. There he goes.
Toodaloo, Mr. S. That's the last of you, it is.
As the Scarlet Widow looks on, the cedar chest containing the unconscious Superman, with a piece of the deadly kryptonite at his side, falls into the fog-swept sea, rocks for a moment, and then sinks slowly beneath the waves. A moment more as the Scarlet Widow and Sniggers watch eagerly, and it is lost to view in the dark depths. Is Superman gone forever? Have his enemies triumphed at last over the Man of Steel and the truth and justice for which he fought and lived? Fellows and girls, don't miss tomorrow's dramatic episode. Every moment of it is exciting. Tune in, same time, same station, for the adventures of Superman.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents
The adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman. And today, as the kryptonite glows relentlessly beside the unconscious form of the Man of Steel far below the sea, his friends at the Daily Planet are beginning to worry about the man they know as Clark Kent. We'll join them in a moment. To prove to Superman's four deadliest enemies that a fragment of the shattered planet Krypton could make them masters of the Man of Steel, the Scarlet Widow set a trap for Superman in her penthouse apartment. In a desperate attempt to recover the kryptonite, which robs him of all his strength when he comes within 10 feet of it, Superman appeared at the apartment. Although he remained a safe distance from the main fragment of kryptonite, tiny particles planted around the room caused him to lose consciousness. Placing Superman in a large cedar chest, together with a small piece of the deadly kryptonite, the Scarlet Widow had the chest taken 2 miles out to sea and dropped overboard. As we continue now, the following morning, Lois Lane has just entered the office of Editor Perry White at the Metropolis Daily Planet. Listen.
Chief, this is serious. Clark is missing.
Ah, nonsense, Lois.
Then
nonsense.
where is he? He hasn't been seen since the night before last. He hasn't been at his apartment either. Jim and I were there yesterday and again this morning. His bed hasn't even been slept
So
in.
what? Kent's probably out playing detective.
Detective.
Sure. He's never happy unless he's making like Sherlock Holmes.
Now, listen,
He must
Chief.
be trying to find that piece of kryptonite or whatever they call it that was stolen from the Metropolis Museum.
I-
Now stop worrying about him. Kent acts like a screwball pretty often, but he can take care of himself.
But where is he? He's never been gone so long without getting in touch with us.
Will you stop asking me where he is? How do I know? Am I his keeper? As a matter of fact, that's what he needs. A padded cell and a keeper.
Well, you don't have to bite my head off just because you're worried.
Who's worried?
You are, and you know it. I think we ought to call Inspector Henderson.
Are you out of your mind? Kent isn't a baby, and besides, Henderson's got his hands full hunting for the Vulture and the Teufel and Papa Rouse and the Laugher and... what's that?
Your intercom.
Don't you think I know what it is?
Will you...
Yes, Miss Backrack.
Inspector Henderson just called Mr. White.
He did? Well, put him on. Come on. What are you waiting for?
He isn't on the line. He just gave me a message for you and hung up. He said he was in a hurry.
Oh, well, what was the message?
He said he hasn't been able to find any trace of Mr. Kent.
No, he hasn't.
No, sir. But he said Mr. Kent was in at police headquarters last night with Captain Donovan.
Donovan?
Yes, sir. Inspector Henderson said that Olson had spoken with Captain Donovan and was on his way here now.
Olson? Jimmy Olson? Oh, okay, that's fine. Send him in as soon as he shows up.
Yes, sir.
You hear that, Lois? Kent was at police headquarters last night and...
Yes, I heard. So you did call Inspector Henderson after all.
Huh?
Oh, you told me you weren't worried about Clark.
No, well, I had to talk to Henderson anyhow about those 4 crooks who broke out of jail, and, I just happened to mention Kent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where's Olson? Headquarters is only 5 minutes from here, and I suppose he had to stop and get the baseball scores.
I'm sure he didn't, Chief. Jim is just as worried about Clark as we are. As a matter of fact, I think he's pretty...
Oh, there you are, Olson. Come in.
Hello, Mr. White. Hello, Miss Lane.
Hello, Jim.
Never mind the greetings, never mind. Now, just tell us what Captain Donovan told you.
Well, how did you know?
Never mind how I know. A little bird told me. An elephant told me. Will you stop wasting time and start talking?
Well, sure, if you'll give me a chance. Mr. Kent was at police headquarters last night, trying to get Captain Donovan to help him look for the kryptonite.
Ah, there. You see, Lois?
Donovan told Mr. Kent he was crazy.
And he's right.
Especially when Mr. Kent said he was sure the theft of the kryptonite was tied up with the jailbreaks of the Teufel, the Vulture, Papa Rouse, and the Laugher.
Well, for
Kent
heaven's...
said that?
Uh-huh. And then he got a phone call. Captain Donovan didn't know who it was from, but when Mr. Kent hung up, his face was white as a sheet, Donovan said. Then he told Donovan that Superman would either come to police headquarters with the kryptonite in an hour, or else he'd probably never be seen again.
What?
Jim, and that's what Mr. Kent said. He went right out. Gosh, I'm worried. Where do you suppose he went? And what did he mean about Superman never being seen again?
He didn't mean anything. He was just trying to sound important.
Mr. Kent's no four-flusher.
I can't understand. Good heavens.
Huh?
What, Lois?
Clark might have fallen into the Vulture's trap, or the Teufels, or the Laughers, or Papa Rouse.
Well, what are you talking about? What trap?
Now, Chief, Clark had a hand in sending all 4 of those terrible men to jail.
Yes.
And don't you remember at their trials, each one swore that he'd get Clark?
Oh, jeepers, that's right. Golly, Miss Lane, you think they got Mr. Kent?
Well, there's no reason to think so. Kent was on the trail of the kryptonite.
If they were after him, they knew that. And so they could have set a trap for him using the kryptonite and maybe even Superman as bait. And poor Clark just walked into it. That would explain his telling Captain Donovan last night that if Superman wasn't there with the kryptonite in an hour, he might never be seen again.
Yeah, and Superman didn't show up, and neither did Mr. Kent. Gee whiz, what'll we do?
Well, now, the thing to do is not to lose our heads. I'll get in touch with Inspector Henderson.
No. What we've got to do is to contact Superman.
Superman?
Yeah,
Well, how in the
That's
world...
it, Miss Lane. Superman can find Mr. Kent, and it would be only fair, too, seeing how Mr. Kent got in trouble trying to help him.
Oh, wonderful. Just pick up the phone, Olsen, and give Superman a ring.
Oh, yeah. How are we going to contact him?
For once, when I needed him, I broadcast from our radio station for Superman, and he heard me.
Hey, that's right.
Remember?
And he got there just in time to save us.
Yes.
Remember, Chief? I mean, Mr. White?
Oh, I'll never forget it. Well, what are you waiting for, Lois? Maybe it'll work again. Come on. We'll go upstairs to the studio right now, and you can try broadcasting for him again. Maybe it'll work.
Hurrying from the city room, Perry White, Lois Lane, and Jimmy Olsen rushed to the radio studio on the roof of the Daily Planet, where, at a command from White, a news program is interrupted so that Lois, standing before the microphone, can broadcast an appeal for Superman.
Superman. Calling Superman, wherever you are. Clark Kent is in danger and needs you. He's in danger because he tried to help you. So please help him now. Superman. Calling Superman. Please contact the Daily Planet at once.
Again and again, Lois Lane sends her SOS for Superman out over the airwaves, little knowing that at this very moment, Superman, who is Clark Kent, lies unconscious in a large cedar chest weighted with stones and a piece of the green, glowing, eerily humming kryptonite at the bottom of the sea. The powerful tide catches at the chest and rolls it over, then drags it along the sandy, pebbly bottom and turns it again and again and again, as in some grim, ironic game. We'll return in a moment for the dramatic climax of today's episode. North of Metropolis, on the beach before a small, rough shack made of old boat planks, a fisherman and his daughter are drying their nets as the powerful, surging tide comes in. In the distance, beyond the black rocks, a brewing storm darkens the afternoon sky. The fisherman is bent and weather-beaten. His daughter, Abigail, is about 16, dressed in overalls, her hair free and flowing, her feet bare.
Big storm brewing out there, Pa.
Yep. Ain't gonna have these nets dry before that storm blows the rain in, Abby. Yeah, might as well leave them.
All right, Pa. I'll go in and cook supper then. Oh, look out there.
Yes, look at what?
Right out there by the sandbar. Some kind of a box the tide blew it in.
Yeah, sure enough. Stuck on the bar, she is.
Pa, let's go get it. Might be something good in it.
What are you talking about, Abby? Take a chance in that riptide kind of some worthless old box?
Oh, I'm not afraid, Pa. Might be something fine in it. Like some nice dresses I could wear, maybe.
Yeah, nonsense.
Oh, you can't be sure, Pa. There might be something in it we could use. Oh, we could use a lot of things.
That we can, Abby. A young girl like you should have pretty things. But you ain't going to find them in that old box.
We could drag it in and look.
Yeah, it's worth the risk, I tell you. You know as well as I do how strong that riptide is. Besides, look at that storm building up in the north. Might hit us before we could get back. Come on now, we'll go in and get supper.
Pa,
Yeah, what now?
I'd be awful obliged if you'd go out with me and fetch back that box.
Hey, you're just like your mother was, Abby. Looking up at me so trusting like. Yeah, and figuring to twist me around to her way of thinking. Well, I'll tell you what. The tide ain't all in yet. If so be it lifts the box off from the bar, so she comes in past the worst of the rip. And if the storm ain't blowed up yet when that happens, well, we'll go get the box.
Oh, but Pa, the tide might not pick the box off the bar.
Well, you don't get it then. Nothing lost. Come on now into the house. Get your old pie supper. And stop looking back at that box. Tell you there ain't nothing in it worth having.
All right, Pa. Just as you say.
Reluctantly, the young girl follows her father into their shack, neither of them knowing that the fisherman has consigned Superman to the freakish will of the tide and the brewing storm. Yes, Superman is in that chest on the sandbar. And with him, the deadly kryptonite. What will happen? Is Superman still alive? Will the tide mercifully carry him beyond the sandbar into the reluctant hands of the fisherman? Or will it fail to dislodge the cedar chest and then carry it back into the depths of the fathomless sea? Which will it be? Don't miss Monday's startling episode, fellows and girls, when we learn the fate of the Man of Steel. Tune in, same time, same station, and listen to The Adventures of Superman.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman. And today it would seem that the chest containing his unconscious form has been left to the whims of a merciless sea. We'll learn more about it in a moment. But right now, here's Dan McCullough with some very exciting news.
Say, gang, have I got news for you today? Big news, exciting news, doggone thrilling news. Listen, there's a brand new series of buttons coming out, one in each package of Kellogg's Pep. Yes, sir, different from any buttons you've ever had. These are comic buttons, 18 different ones in all, each one with a true-to-life picture of one of your favorite comic strip characters. Boy, what a thrill you'll get out of these new comic buttons. What chuckles. There's Superman, of course, and Moon Mullins, and Smiling Jack, and Smokey Stover. 18 different buttons in all, each one brilliantly colored with a sparkling white background, each one made of real sturdy metal, each one a real eye-catcher you'll be proud to wear on your skirt or dress or cap. Now, how do you get these new comic buttons? Well, here's the dope. You don't send in any money, not even a box top. Fact is, you can't buy them anywhere. They come only as prizes in packages of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. So make sure your mother gets you some Kellogg's Pep tomorrow. Then see which prize you find inside. One of these brand new comic buttons or a military insignia or warplane button. There's a button, a prize for you in every package of P.E.P. Pep. Made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek.
And now, The Adventures of Superman.
A piece of steel of all his strength when he comes within 10 feet of it. Planning to make millions by selling the mysterious metal to Superman's enemies, a woman called the Scarlet Widow stole the kryptonite from the Metropolis Museum. And when Superman made a desperate attempt to recover it, he lost consciousness. The widow placed him in a cedar chest with a small piece of the kryptonite and consigned the chest and Superman to the bottom of the sea. The incoming tide carried the chest to a sandbar near shore, where it was seen by a fisherman and his young daughter, Abby. The fisherman refused to battle a powerful riptide to rescue what he thought was a worthless box. And as we continue now, in their shack on the beach, his daughter, Abby, interrupts her cooking to stray to the window. Listen.
Pa? Yeah?
I think that storm's going to blow itself out to the north.
Yeah, sounds like it might at that, Abby.
Pa?
What now?
That box is still stuck on the bar.
The tide will be all in soon. It'll lift her off.
The box might float out to the sea.
There won't be no harm done. That old box is worthless.
But, Pa, you promised if the storm didn't blow up, we'd go and get it.
I promised if so be the tide lifted her off in the bar and brought her in past the worst of the rip, which it ain't done. Now, you forget that old box, Abby, and tend to the supper you got in the stove.
All right, Pa.
Abby?
What, Pa?
You're crying.
No, I'm not, Pa.
Yes, you be. Is it just kind of that old box?
Not just.
Well, what then?
Thinking about the party at the Grange Hall Saturday night. And how all I've got to wear is these overalls. Pa, I'm getting too big to wear overalls now, except in the boat.
Boo. Abby, come here.
Yes, Pa?
Abby, do you know, could I get you one of them fine dresses at the store? I'd get it.
Oh, I know, Pa. It's just that...
Just what?
Oh, you're so stubborn, Pa. You say there ain't anything in that box on the bar.
There ain't.
Well, you don't know, Pa. Not for sure. Maybe there is something in it. Maybe there's dresses or money or something we can sell for things we need so bad, Pa.
I tell you there ain't. It's just a worthless old box. Anyone with two eyes can see it.
All right, Pa. I can't go out for it myself. I won't mention it no more, Pa.
Don't you? Dresses in that old box. Money. There ain't nothing in it, I tell you. And stop sniffling.
Yes, Pa.
You just like a woman. I'll never see the beat of it. You, Abby, get that line off in the hook and come along.
Where Pa?
You know where. We're going after that box.
Oh, Pa.
Yes, I'll just show you your old pa knows what he's a-saying. I'll get that line and bring it to the door.
Oh, wait, Pa. Wait for me. The box is still there, Pa, ain't it?
Yep. He's stuck in the sand good. I don't like the looks of that riptide, though. Get caught in it and we ain't got a chance.
Oh, I ain't afraid. Not with you. Everyone says you're just about the best hand with a boat they ever seen.
Well, I'll need to be. Good thing that storm veered off. If we can work in close to the rocks and hit the bar above the rip, there's enough water over the bar now to come down to your stranded box. It ain't going to be easy bringing it back, though.
Oh, you can do it, Pa. You can do anything.
Now you got your old pa doing what you want. He ain't no more stubborn old mule, huh?
Oh, I never called you a mule. You're just about the finest pa a girl ever had. And I'm just hoping there's something in that box for you, too, Pa.
Not even a moldy cracker, I'll bet you. Throw the line in the dory, Abby, and help me shove her into water.
All right, Pa.
Go on now. Push. That's it. There we are. Now, wait for this roller, Abby.
Yeah.
Now get in. Set in the bow and be ready to push if and we pitch into the rock.
All right, Pa. Pa?
Yep.
You figure the tide might get pull the box into the rip?
That's right.
Then it'll smash to pieces. We'll lose it, Pa.
Won't be losing nothing.
Pa, don't say that. Hurry, Pa.
This is a job that can't be hurried. We'll be there soon enough, though. Ain't more than 30 or 40 yards. Just the rip we got to be careful of. And them rocks. Watch sharp now, Abby. We're going to come in close.
I'm watching. Look out, Pa, that big rock.
Yes, I see it. Had to shave that one close to the rip of the head.
Oh, the box is still there.
Good thing if you'd never seen it. We're taking a fool's risk, we are, Abby.
Oh, maybe there'll be something fine in it. Oh, look.
Look at what?
The box. Kind of a green gold shining through it.
Don't mind the box. Mind them rocks.
What do you suppose makes that green gold? Look at it, Pa.
I told you. Abby, watch out.
Oh, what's the matter?
We're going to smash up on the rock.
Oh! Oh, Pa! Oh!
Abby, where are you? Abby! Abby!
Here I am, Pa! Pa!
I see you. Swim for the bar. Just ahead.
Yeah.
Don't let the rip get you. Keep going straight.
I know, Pa.
You're almost there. Keep going. Now, don't talk. Swim. Swim straight, girl. Straight. You're almost there. Now, you feel the bar under you?
Yes, Pa.
Now, don't slip off. Don't slip off. You'll be in the rip. Grab onto the box there.
I got it.
Good. Hang on. I'll be right there.
Grab my head, Pa. Here. Oh,
All right.
come on.
You hang on with both hands. I can make it. It's a good thing we were so close to the bar. Hang on good to the box, Abby.
I pulled the door smashed, Pa. I wasn't watching the rocks like you told me. How are we going to get back?
Well, we gotta hope this here box stays put till the tide's all in. If so be, we can swim out of the way and work back round the rip to shore.
Suppose the box comes loose before the tide's all in.
Well, let's not be thinking about that.
I wish I'd never seen this old box. There's nothing good in it, I know. Oh, it's just a story.
Well, ain't no use taking on about that now, Abby.
Oh, I know, Pa, I'm a wicked girl. Oh, the box is coming loose.
And here she be. Hang on tight, Abby.
Oh, we got me swept into the river.
Hang on to the box, Abby. Hang on for your life.
Frantically, the old fisherman and his daughter Abby cling to the cedar chest in which lie the unconscious Superman and the deadly kryptonite as the powerful surging tide lifts it from the sandbar. We'll return in a moment for the startling climax of today's episode. Their dory wrecked in their effort to secure the cedar chest containing Superman, which was stuck on a sandbar. The fisherman and his young daughter Abby cling frantically to the chest as the incoming tide dislodges it and sweeps it into a savage, rushing riptide.
The rip's on his box.
Hang on to the box, Abby, or you'll be pulled under.
One thing took us in the sea, Paul.
Just pray this whole box hold together till we're out of the rip.
Paul! Paul!
Hang on to the box, I say.
Come apart!
Oh, land of mercy, she is. If she busts up, we're done for, Abby.
Oh, I'm afraid. Oh, the gringo jumped him.
Where?
He's sinking now. Came out of the box.
Phosphorus in the water, likely. Hang on, Abby. Hang on. The box is coming to pieces. Hang on to me, Abby.
I'm drowning.
Oh, easy, girl. Easy. I got you.
Oh, you know, good box. Oh, look. In the box. It's a man.
Land of mercy. Abby. Abby.
I'm drowning.
Fighting desperately but helplessly in the savage riptide, Abby and her father are hurled violently apart, whirled over and over, then dragged beneath the surface as the cedar chest containing the unconscious figure of Superman is ripped to shreds. What will happen to them and to the Man of Steel? Don't miss tomorrow's exciting episode, fellows and girls, when we learn the fate of Superman and of Abby and her father. Tune in, same time, same station, for The Adventures of Superman.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman, who is today freed of the greatest threat to his power, the fragment of kryptonite. We'll learn what happens in a moment. Learning that a piece of kryptonite, a fragment of the shattered planet on which Superman had been born, had the strange power to rob the Man of Steel of his strength, a woman called the Scarlet Widow stole it from the Metropolis Museum. In a desperate attempt to recover the fragment, Superman lost consciousness, and the widow placed him in a cedar chest with a small piece of the kryptonite and dropped him into the sea. The tide carried the chest to a sandbar near shore, where a fisherman and his young daughter Abby were wrecked while trying to retrieve it. Clinging to the cedar chest, they were swept into a savage riptide, and as it broke apart in the wild water, they appeared doomed. As we continue now in the cold, raging sea, Superman, freed of the presence of the kryptonite, is regaining consciousness. Listen.
What? Where am I?
Abby! Abby!
I hear someone. It's another voice. Hey, stop. I'm in the sea. How did I... Wait a minute. There's a girl caught in the riptide. And an old man. Tide's pulling them under. Away to them. Away!
Picking the girl and her father from the seething water, Superman, once more in possession of all his amazing powers, streaks to the fisherman's shack on the beach, the two wet, bedraggled figures in his arms. There, after the girl and her father have changed into dry clothes, they sit drinking hot tea, listening in wide-eyed amazement to the man in the red cape and blue costume.
I'm sorry I can't tell you who I am or how I came to be in that cedar chest. But I do want you to trust me and promise not to mention a word of what happened today.
Oh, my God. I don't hardly know what happened to you, Pa.
Well, it seems like I know, Abby, but I can't believe it. This here fella seemed to be dead in that there box. But the next thing you know, he was flying us out of the rip.
I didn't know for sure this was our own kitchen. I'd be sure we were in another world.
Well, I assure you you're not in another world, Abby. Now, about that promise. It's very important that my enemies and yours don't find out what happened.
Our enemies?
We ain't got no enemies, mister. Not since the war's been over.
Oh, yes, you have. Although the war is officially over, there are many evil, fanatical men and women, some even here in our own country, who are plotting ways and means of building toward another war and undoing all we fought for.
My star.
You mean them Nazis and Japanese?
Yes, and their sympathizers. There are many of them. Some were involved in this attack on me. Now, will you promise to keep all that happened here today a strict secret?
Oh, of course we will. Won't we, Pa?
Well, of course. You saved my life, mister, and my daughter.
Oh, you saved my life. I don't think now that the kryptonite itself can kill me, but apparently it can keep me unconscious as long as I'm within 10 feet of it. My body needs food, so eventually, if I'd been carried back to the bottom of the sea, I'd have perished.
Yeah?
Krypton what?
Huh? Oh, never mind. And by the way, Abby, you said you saw a piece of green glowing metal fall out of the cedar chest.
Oh, that's right. Remember, Pa?
Yep. Looked like phosphorus, it did.
How big was it?
Oh, it was pretty small. How big would you say, Pa?
No bigger than the pebble.
Well, that means they put only a tiny fragment in the chest with me. Got to recover the rest of it in a hurry before they... Well, I'm going now. And thanks again. By the way, Mr.
Hinkle, Sam Hinkle.
Mr. Hinkle, I'll see that you get a new dory to replace the one you smashed on the rocks.
There ain't no reason for you to get me new dory, mister. We didn't know it was you in that old box. The honest truth is, we went out because Abby here had a full notion might be fancy dresses and stuff in it.
That's right.
Oh, I see. Well, maybe Abby found her fancy dresses at that.
Oh, I don't know what you mean, mister.
Well, you'll both be hearing from me. Thanks again.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
The closest call I've ever had. And it mustn't happen again. I'd better go back to the planet first. Up and away!
Leaving the humble fisherman's shack, Superman streaks through the late afternoon skies toward Metropolis, red capes streaming in the wind. Meanwhile, in Perry White's office at the Daily Planet, the gray-haired editor, Jimmy Olsen, and Lois Lane are frantic with worry at the mysterious absence of Clark Kent.
Maybe you ought to try broadcasting for Superman again, Miss Lane. He can find Mr. Kent.
I've been broadcasting for hours, Jim, and all I've done is lost my voice. He must be beyond the range of our station.
Or else he's in trouble.
Superman in trouble? Don't be silly, Olsen.
But Mr. Kent said if Superman didn't come to headquarters with the kryptonite by midnight last night, he might never be seen again.
Kent didn't know what he was talking about. He got himself all steamed up about the kryptonite being a danger to Superman, and he wound up by getting himself in trouble. Fancies himself a detective and walks into a trap. Of all the dumb, the asinine, the half-witted,
Talking about someone I know, Chief?
Why,
Kent.
it's Mr. Kent.
What?
Look, it's Mr. Kent.
Is it really you?
In the flesh, Lois.
We've been going crazy here.
Take it easy. Take it easy. What's all the excitement about?
Huh?
What's all the excitement about?
What?
Why, you...
What's your blood pressure, Chief?
A lot you care about my blood pressure. Where have you been the last 48 hours? Not that I should know, of course. I'm only your editor, the fool who pays you your salary.
Why, well, you
We've
see,
been worried to
We
death.
thought you'd been trapped by the vulture or one of the others who escaped with him.
We've been driving the police department crazy. Lois has practically lost her voice broadcasting an SOS for Superman.
Superman?
Yeah, we thought maybe he could find you, Mr. Kent.
Oh, well, sorry you were all so worried about me.
He's sorry now. Isn't that noble of him?
Well, now...
That doesn't answer my question, Kent. Where have you been?
Well, I started out to look for the kryptonite.
Well, did you find it?
No.
How about Superman? You told Captain Donovan that Superman might never be seen again.
Superman's all right, Jim. For the moment.
For the moment?
Mm-hmm.
How do you mean, Clark?
Oh, just what I say. He's all right until the widow and Sniggers and the others make another attempt against him with the kryptonite.
The widow and who?
He said Sniggers.
Oh, who's the widow and Sniggers?
They're the ones who have the kryptonite. A woman called the Scarlet Widow and a little cockney named Sniggers. Bad a pair as I ever saw in my life. They're working with the Vulture, the Teufel, Papa Rausch, and the Laugher.
They
How do
are.
you know?
Well, I haven't time to explain now. There's a lot to do, and it must be done quickly. Look, Chief, I've written descriptions of the Scarlet Widow and Sniggers. I want you to run them on the first page of the Daily Planet. Explain that they're a menace to Superman and to society, and ask anyone seeing them to communicate with us or the police department.
Now, wait a minute. What?
There isn't a minute to waste, Chief, not a second. If you hurry, you can get those descriptions into the last edition. Jim, you come with me.
Oh, gosh, sure, you bet. Oh, where, Mr. Kent?
And you'll find out. Come on.
Now, look here, Kent.
What do you mean, just walking into my office and giving me and my staff orders?
Well, it's all...
I'm the editor here, and I want to tell you to tell me what this is all
I've
about.
told you all I can now, Chief. Please trust me.
Trust him? Of all the...
Really? Clark Kent, the one-man detective agency and police department. Haven't you any orders for me, Sherlock?
No, but I do have a favor to ask of you, Lois.
What's that?
Would you please go to the best store in town and get 2 of the fanciest party dresses you can buy?
What?
I don't know what size, but she's about the same height as Jim.
She?
Uh-huh.
Dresses? Why, Clark Kent, don't tell me you've got a girl.
Huh? Oh,
Yes.
Of course not, Lois. No, you see...
Oh, look at him blush.
No,
Oh, Mr. Kent's got a girl.
Never mind that. Now, I want to know where are you going?
Something
Now, you
important.
come back. We've got to move fast. Come on back here. Leaving Perry White's office, Clark Kent hurries to the elevators, followed by the eager Jimmy Olsen. What is so important that Kent forgot? Hurrying to Metropolis Police Headquarters with Jimmy Olsen, Clark Kent found that Inspector Henderson was out. After speaking to Captain Donovan, Henderson's assistant, Kent, Jimmy, and Donovan entered a police car with several officers and were driven swiftly to a 65-story apartment building on Boulevard Drive. As we join them now, they have just entered a private elevator, and Captain Donovan is taking it up.
You'll broadcast the descriptions of the Scarlet Widow and Sniggers all over the country, Captain Donovan?
It's on the teletype now, Kent.
Good.
But I want to look at this apartment you say they were in with the Vulture, the Teufel, and those 2 others.
Oh, Papa Roush and the Laugher. Gosh, I want to see their apartment, too.
And you'll see it in a moment. It's the penthouse of this building. But they're not there now. That's why I was in such a hurry to give you the descriptions of the widow and Sniggers, Captain.
How do you know they're not there now, Kent?
I'm sure of it.
Mr. Kent says they all beat it with the kryptonite.
He says. The building superintendent didn't see them move out.
This is a private elevator for the penthouse, and it opens on the side of the building. They could easily have left without being seen, especially at night.
We'll soon find out. Here's the 65th floor. Okay, men. Quiet now.
You don't have to be careful. I tell you, there's nobody in the apartment.
How can you tell, Mr. Kent?
Yeah. Maybe Kent looks through doors and walls like this fellow Superman he's so worried about.
Huh?
Ring the bell, Haley.
Okay, Captain.
Yeah, you see, I told you.
Ring it again, Haley.
Right.
Gosh, maybe they're all waiting in there with guns.
No, they're not, Jim.
Okay. You got the passkey, Haley. Open her up.
No, wait a minute. Don't open the door.
Huh? What's the matter with you, Kent?
Don't open it, I tell you. Don't.
But you just said nobody was in there.
I know, but don't open it. Don't.
Amazed, Jimmy Olsen, Captain Donovan, and the police officers look at Clark Kent, whose eyes are wide with terror and whose face has turned ghostly pale. What has Kent as Superman seen in the Scarlet Widow's apartment? Don't miss tomorrow's exciting episode, fellows and girls. Tune in, same time, same station, and follow the adventures of Superman.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman.
faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman, who is today again on the trail of the Scarlet Widow and her deadly weapon, the kryptonite. Narrowly escaping death when the Scarlet Widow placed him in a cedar chest with a small piece of kryptonite and consigned the chest to the bottom of the sea, Superman knows that he must recover the main fragment of kryptonite from the widow if he is to stay alive. With Jimmy Olsen, Police Captain Donovan, and several officers, Superman, in his guise of Clark Kent, returned to the penthouse apartment of the Scarlet Widow. Although he said the apartment was now empty, Kent suddenly called out to the amazed officers not to open the door. And as we continue now, in the foyer outside the widow's 65th-story apartment, Kent, pale and trembling, his eyes glazed, staggers backward into the elevator. Listen.
Well, what's the matter, Mr. Kent? Are you sick?
I feel a little weak, Jim.
Oh, gosh, you're pale as a ghost. And you're shaking.
Well, I'll be all right in a minute. I didn't look in the flower pots. I took for granted that the widow would take all the stuff away with her.
Oh, what stuff?
Huh?
What are you talking about, Mr. Kent?
Look, Jim, I want you to listen and then do exactly as I say, will you?
Oh, sure I will. But what's this all about? First you say there's nobody in the apartment, and then you start yelling not to open the door.
I know.
And then you practically pass
Oh,
out.
never mind. Now listen and get this straight. I want you to go into the apartment.
Aren't you coming?
I can't.
Why not? Look, You're not having a heart attack or something, are you?
Oh, no. I just felt a little weak for a moment, but I'm all right now.
Well, maybe you ate something that didn't agree with you.
Never mind me. Just listen and don't interrupt. Now, there's a flower pot standing near the entrance to the living room. In the earth around the plant is a tiny piece of green glowing metal. I want you to get it.
What for? What is it?
Will you stop interrupting? This is important. Pick up that piece of metal with a handkerchief, not with your bare hands, and take it to Dr. John Milliken at the University of Metropolis Laboratory as quickly as you can.
But why? What?
Never mind the whys and whats. Just get the piece of metal and take it to Dr. Milliken. Tell him I'll be there very soon. Now get going.
Oh,
Jim.
wait. If Captain Donovan sees me taking anything, he'll throw me in the hoosegow.
No, he won't. There's more of the stuff in the other flower pots in the living room and on the terrace. As a matter of fact, you might call them to Donovan's attention, so he'll take them to headquarters. But warn them not to touch the stuff with their bare hands. All right, go ahead, Jim.
Okay. Where are you going?
I never saw anyone who could ask so many questions. I'm taking this elevator down. I'll have one of Donovan's men bring it up again. Now, don't fail me, Jim.
I won't, Mr. Kent.
Okay.
Leaving the building, Kent waits nearby, hidden in the early evening shadows, until he sees Jimmy emerge and enter a taxicab. A short time later, in his true identity of Superman, Kent knocks at the laboratory door of Dr. John Milliken, world-famous physicist.
Good evening, Dr. Milliken.
Superman.
That's right, Doctor.
Come in.
Thank you.
I'm delighted to see you. I haven't had that pleasure since we worked together on the atom.
That's right.
Now, come into the laboratory and tell me what I can do for you.
If you don't mind, Doctor, let's talk right here,
It
shall
will
we?
be much more comfortable at my desk. There are
I know.
chairs.
I'm sorry, but I can't go to your desk.
I don't understand.
There's something very dangerous to me on your desk, Doctor.
Dangerous
Yes.
to you?
I know it sounds fantastic, but that tiny piece of green glowing metal that young Olson just left with you is my deadliest enemy.
What? Oh, now look here, Superman. Do you feel perfectly well?
I feel fine now, Doctor, but it's the gospel truth. That fragment is a piece of the former planet Krypton, where I was born. And by some strange chemical action, I lose all my strength when I come within 10 feet of it.
Oh, I can't believe it.
Now, to repeat, it's true, only too true. I told Dr. Whistler, meteorologist of the museum, my story before he died. It was his theory that the substance of the former planet Krypton created a race of supermen there. But here on Earth, a fragment of kryptonite has just the opposite effect on a former inhabitant of that planet, meaning me. In this atmosphere, the kryptonite robs me of all my strength.
Whistler said that? Amazing.
Yes, unfortunately, right after Dr. Whistler died, some of my enemies managed to steal the kryptonite. And last night, they almost succeeded in doing away with me.
Oh, good heavens.
When they learn I'm still alive, I'm sure they'll try to destroy me again.
Don't say that. We need you. You've been of tremendous service to this country.
Thank you, Doctor. Then perhaps you'll help me?
How can I help you?
Examine that sliver of kryptonite on your desk.
That phosphorescent metal, is that kryptonite?
That's right. Study that kryptonite, Doctor. You're the greatest physicist in the world. Perhaps you can discover how I can defend myself against it.
Of course, I'll do my best. But it seems so unbelievable that this sliver of kryptonite can knock you out.
It will ultimately destroy me, unless you can develop some defense against it.
I'll get to work on it at once. But I can't promise anything, you understand?
I understand. But I'm counting on you, Doctor. You're my last hope.
I'll do everything in my power, naturally. Now, where can I contact you if I have anything to report?
Call Clark Kent at the Daily Planet. Just tell him it's important that you see me. Don't give the message to anyone else.
Kent can reach you in an emergency.
Well, I keep in touch with Kent, you might say. Well, now I've got to try to pick up the trail of the kryptonite before it's used against me again. Good luck, Dr. Milliken.
I'm going to need it. Here, I'll take you to the elevator.
No, thanks. I see your skylight is open. I'll use that if you don't mind. So long, Doctor.
Good night, Superman. Believe me, I'll do all I can.
I'm sure you will. Up and away!
Leaping up through the open laboratory skylight, Superman streaks away into the evening to take up his desperate search for the Scarlet Widow and the dreaded kryptonite. But meanwhile, in another Metropolis laboratory, a small, dirty basement room of cluttered tables, retorts, and a littered floor, a strange scene is taking place. The single window is closely boarded and nailed over with heavy black paper, and under the dim glow of an electric bulb hanging from the ceiling, two men lean over a test tube suspended above a Bunsen burner. In the tube is a small piece of green glowing metal and a heavy purplish liquid which boils violently and gives off a brilliant white light and hot steam. One of the men is squat and powerfully built, with a bald, bullet-shaped head and eyes magnified like a frog's behind abnormally thick spectacles. This is Der Teufel, who, until the war ended, was one of Germany's most brilliant scientists and espionage agents. The other man is tall and lean, with cold, pale eyes set in a sallow, impassive face. Watching the test tube, Der Teufel scowls.
Everything I've tried, Klaus, everything, but I am unable to dissolve the kryptonite.
All last night and all today you work on this problem, Teufel. Why is it so important to dissolve the kryptonite?
That is simple. Because of its effect on Superman, I am convinced that kryptonite is an even greater source of atomic energy than U-235, uranium. Now, do you understand?
No, and you must explain further, Teufel.
You are a blockhead. But see, I will try to make you understand. Everything on Earth is soluble. Everything can be dissolved, which means the kryptonite, too, if only the proper chemical agent can be discovered. And once the kryptonite is dissolved, do you not see what that means to us, Kraus? Do you not see?
Puzzled, the man, Kraus, waits for Teufel to explain. What has der Teufel, whose name in English means the devil, in mind? We'll return in a moment to find out. But first, let's hear from our good friend.
You know what I heard the other day? Well, someone told me that one of the members of the gang was listening closely Monday when I first told you all about these brand new comic buttons, the new prizes in packages of Kellogg's Pep. And this young fellow was so pleased and excited with the big news, he came right out with a big yippee! Well, I bet you feel like that, too, when you get your first new comic button. It'll be one of your old favorite funny sheet characters, you know. Maybe Superman himself, or Skeezix, or Uncle Walt, or Smokey Stover. You know him, don't you? Or any one of 18 different buttons, each one a humdinger for color and sparkle. You'll get a big kick out of rounding out your collection of all 18 buttons, swapping duplicates with your pals, wearing them on your jacket or dress or cap. And here's the payoff, gang. You don't send in a single penny for these new comic buttons, not even a box top. You can't even buy them anywhere. You just ask Mom to get you plenty of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. Inside every package, there's a swell prize. One of these brand new thriller-diller comic buttons, or a military insignia or warplane button. So get in on the fun. Make sure Mom gets you a package of P-E-P, Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek.
And now back to the adventures of Superman. In a dirty, secret basement laboratory under the streets of Metropolis, der Teufel, one of Germany's most brilliant scientists, has been unable to dissolve the piece of kryptonite which he stole from the Scarlet Widow. Kraus, one of his henchmen, expresses bewilderment.
As I said, Teufel, I am not a scientist, so tell me, why does it mean so much to us that the kryptonite be dissolved?
You will see for yourself. But first, I must return to Germany, to the Black Forest, where waiting for me is Herr Professor Milch. Milch is a great chemist, a genius. He will be able to dissolve the kryptonite if anyone can.
He will?
Yeah, I'm certain of it. Now listen to me, Klaus. The Scarlet Widow, the Vulture, and the Laugher seek everywhere for me. So, too, do the American police.
All of them are dangerous, but none so dangerous as the Scarlet Widow.
I fooled her once, and I will do it again with your help. What you must do now, tonight, is to obtain papers for me, a disguise, and whatever else is necessary so that I can return to Germany at once.
See, Teufel, you ask me to take tremendous risks, not only with my own life, but with those of our comrades. It is only right that you should tell me why I do it.
You verrichte Dummkopf, it is I, der Teufel, who commands it. All right, Kraus. I will tell you, when Herr Professor Milch dissolves the kryptonite, I intend to create an atom man.
An atom man?
Yeah, an atom man who from his very fingertips will unleash such a fury of horror and destruction upon our enemies as they have never even dreamed of. My atom man will forever reduce the great Superman and all our enemies to something even less than dust. Now, will you arrange for me to return to Germany?
It will be done, Herr Teufel, at once. Heil Hitler.
You mean Heil Teufel. It is I who will succeed where Hitler failed. Ha ha! Go now, Kraus. Hurry and arrange matters. Schnell.
His huge, distorted eyes gleaming behind his thick spectacles, der Teufel laughs gleefully at his monstrous vision. What is the atom man he has promised to create? And will it be able to destroy Superman as Teufel promises? Teufel, the devil? Fellows and girls, the plot against the Man of Steel is spreading swiftly, dangerously. So don't miss a single episode of his fight for his own life and for the life of humanity. Tune in tomorrow and every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, and thrill to the adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellas and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman, brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the Grand Old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Publications. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.